but we do know that it definitely happened. And this has been something that has been talked about for like the last week.
Yep.
Like, hey, we're here in Atlanta. We're here in Atlanta. Well, joining us now, Atlanta Falcon legend, a man who lives in Atlanta and in college at Louisville. Absolute dog. Ladies and gentlemen, Harry Douglas.
Hey.
What's up, Harry?
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing, man?
Okay, life is good. Thank you for joining us. How are Louisville Cardinals? What are we doing? We were good this year, right? We're back with the Browns.
Yes. Yep, Jeff Brom got things up to par in Louisville. I'm glad they were able to hire someone who's from there, played there, coached there previously. So he understands, what the city means, what the city wants, but also what that program is supposed to be. You know, Pat, we played against each other. I played against D. Bud in college.
Yeah, we know,
Yeah, we've heard.
Yeah, were you? Yeah, we've heard how that one.
Yeah.
I don't know any stories from mine.
We had some good battles.
Wouldn't have flown in COVID time.
Yeah, definitely not. He would have been put in jail.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
If it was COVID time. Yeah, anyways, that's a nice throwback to the program. Were you there during the blackout game, Thursday Night Football?
Yeah, yep.
So that's like what Louisville can be, in my eyes. Now, not that it wasn't whenever Lamar was playing and Malik was playing and everything like that, but I got a chance to experience it. Yeah, I think you guys were 5, we were 3, I think is what it was. And it was packed out. Muhammad Ali was there.
Damn.
I mean, you're talking about like insane culture. I know Brom was there as well. So it's like bringing them back is good for Louisville. Congrats to the Cardinals seemingly getting it right whenever it comes to coaching hiring. Now, speaking of coaching hiring, why is Bill Belichick thinking about going to Atlanta, you think? This honestly, genuinely, has been a question of mine because we watched what this Atlanta Falcons team has been. Obviously, we went down to Georgia to do a show on a Friday before College Game Day, and we talked to Artie Smith. He was getting booed out of there. Artie Smith almost leads him back to win the NFC South. He inevitably loses. Why do you think Atlanta is a place that Bill Belichick wants to go, and what are your thoughts as a guy who lives in Atlanta, is a Falcons guy, about Bill Belichick potentially being the Atlanta Falcons head coach, GM, whatever the hell he wants to be?
I would say the upside. You look at the young talent that they have on this team, and you start on the offensive side of the ball when you look at Bijan Robinson, and also they got a guy in Tyler Algier. But the year before Bijan got there, he rushed for 1,000 yards. You have Kyle Pitts, Jonnu Smith. He was once with Bill Belichick in New England. Had a really, really good year this season at the tight end position. You got Drake London. That offensive line is intact. But you go over to the defensive side of the ball, and Caden Ellis, man, he had a phenomenal season for the Atlanta Falcons. Came over from the New Orleans Saints, but you see Jesse Bates was able to make the Pro Bowl for the Atlanta Falcons. There's so much upside on this football team. I think the only position where they really need to get, right and have some consistency is the quarterback position, and that's been the story for the last 2 years.
So they have a top 10 pick, right? I think it's like 8 or 9.
Yep.
They have other picks that they could potentially move up. At that spot, you think they get the quarterback, you assume, and would Bill Belichick just take over everything? Is that kind of what you're thinking Blank is thinking down there? Just something to get us back in good graces of the entire NFL?
Well, I couldn't see Bill Belichick taking any job without having some say-so in what the roster construction is and what that roster actually looks like. So if he's going to sign with the Atlanta Falcons and become the next head coach, I would think he would, have some say in, what players are coming in and who they're drafting and what positions or whatnot. But with the 8th overall pick, I think everything is on the table right now when you look at this football team. You look at the NFC South, period, right? And if you have decent quarterback play, you have an opportunity to win this division. We've seen the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and what Baker did last night. Once you get into the dance, man, you have a chance. Anything is possible. So I say they can trade up and potentially get the quarterback of their liking, or they can look on the open market free agency and see what quarterback they can potentially get, or also what quarterback they can trade for. So there are a lot of different options at number 8 for the Atlanta Falcons. I just want them being, playing in this organization, living here in Atlanta, growing up a Falcons fan. There has to be consistency at the quarterback position. There are entirely too many times where I'm watching games this year in the quarterback position. I mean, I know it's a team game, but there are too many mistakes at key moments, especially in the red zone for the Atlanta Falcons last year.
And then it led to Arthur Smith doing this on his sideline with his play sheet and being demonstrative and inevitably getting fired. Speaking of the NFC South, Baker Mayfield obviously had a night that no Buccaneer quarterback has ever had in the playoffs, even Tom Brady. The Saints have fired offense coordinator Pete Carmichael. So whenever you talk about the NFC South, it's just a constant state of seemingly turnover for these last couple years. Maybe it will become the right spot for him. Go ahead, AJ.
Harry, pivoting to the Tampa Bay Bucks and their defense last night. Let's say you're playing offense against these guys. I know RG3's got a thing going on with Jay Gruden. They're kind of bickering back and forth about what they may have had. If you're playing receiver, what do you got to do? Like, these guys are bringing so much heat. Even when they don't, they're just getting so much pressure on Jalen Hurts. What do his receivers need to do? What needs to be in that offense to kind of relieve some of that pressure for Jalen?
Well, I would say this. Watching that game last night, well, before the game even started, I knew what Todd Bowles and company was going to do with their defensive principles, and playing against Todd Bowles a ton while I was playing in the National Football League. You're going to see pressure. So for the Philadelphia Eagles to go out there and not have a plan, and we've seen that versus Dan Quinn and the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. We've seen that versus Wink Martindale and the New York Giants, the last game of the year. To me, it's coaching malpractice, because there's ample time for you to be able to go over the blitz, walk through it. I remember times when I was playing with Matt Ryan, we took the blitz very, very seriously. And we used to have one of our coaches go over the blitz on Wednesdays. We would go over it on Thursdays, Fridays, and then on Saturday mornings, we would meet before meetings, me, Roddy White, Tony Gonzalez, Julio Jones, to go over certain things that we wanted to do versus the blitz and certain looks. So I think it's coaching malpractice to go out there that many times and allow the same type of blitzes to get you over and over and over again.
Can you say that crew of weapons again that you guys would meet with? You,
good player, jeez.
Roddy White.
It was Julio Jones, Tony Gonzalez, and we knew.
Oh, no, they're throttling him.
Oh, no. Why are they throttling him?
I don't know why they're throttling. He was mid-freeze there, too. Hey, you're back. You're back, Harry. Yep. You're back, Harry. They froze you right in the middle of that because they thought no team should have that many weapons. You, Tony Gonzalez, Julio Jones, Roddy White, Harry Douglas, Matt Ryan.
What?
Who else?
Yep.
Who was running back for that team?
Michael Turner.
Oh, my gosh. Damn. Michael the Burner Turner. Yeah, that dude is a stud.
Yeah.
We had squads.
Hell yeah, you absolutely did.
But let me say this, though, Pat. We had two offensive coordinators. We had Mike Mularkey, and we also had Dirk Cutter. Listen, when I mean we went over the blitz over and over and over and over again. So situations like we seen last night, or we seen with the Philadelphia Eagles on numerous of occasions during the regular season, didn't occur.
Hey, so here's actually a stat to talk about what you just talked about. Hembo sent me this. Hembo's a weapon, by the way. You've got a chance to enjoy Hembo.
Oh, I love Hembo.
Love Hembo. Hembo makes us sound a lot smarter. But anytime he does, we just tell him, hey, this is a Hembo brain thing. In their last 4 games, Jalen was blitzed 68 times, not blitzed 55 times. So since Bosa pretty much said, like, hey, Jalen is watching the rush, he's watching the pressure, it's like defense coordinator's like, all right, this is what we got to do. And it seemingly worked. Have you ever had to deal with the change of a coordinator and whenever you were playing in the middle of like a great run? Because Shane Steichen being taken out of there is seemingly what killed the Philadelphia Eagles offense this year. They lose Jason Kelsey. They're going to probably have to figure that whole thing out again. Is it findable for them again, you think?
Ooh, man, it's rough. But let me say this. I think Shane Steichen meant so much to that football team, Pat. We see what he was able to do with the Indianapolis Colts and putting players in the proper positions to become successful, right? That's your job as an offensive coordinator, as a defensive coordinator, put guys in the proper positions to be successful. And when you look at Brian Johnson, and not to knock on him, like I said earlier, like I think it's coaching malpractice to not have a certain plan versus the blitz, to not have certain route concepts. We used to run 2-man wheel, 3-man wheel. We used to run, DBs across the field where they're running to each other. We just had so many different things, the screen game, and then we had counters off of the screen game. Just a simple under concept where you got 3 to one side and you got a 12-yard in cut by number 3. You got 2 unders. That's a simple blitz beater. You can't let teams sit there and play cover 0 at will. And at the house, we used to kill teams that did that.
Yeah, they didn't punish anybody down the stretch for anything, leaving anybody kind of available. Tone has a question for you, Harry.
Yeah, Harry, I wanted to ask you about Penix because you saw him in person in the semifinal. We saw him in the national championship, and he didn't look as good as he did in the semifinal, and that Michigan defense was unbelievable. But how do you think he translates to the NFL?
Yeah, I think he's going to have a phenomenal career. You talk about a guy who's not the normal rookie coming into the National Football League because he's a little older. But, we talk about pocket presence. He has it. He definitely showed that consistently versus the Texas Longhorn. But to be able to put the football where he wants it to be, where only his guy is able to catch it, ball placement, throwing with anticipation. And, most defenders call jump balls 50-50 balls, where receivers, we call them 100-100 balls, baby, because we feel like we're going to come down with it at all times. But for him to give his receivers a chance at those footballs, you see a lot of times, and we've seen on the last play of the game for the Texas Longhorns, Quinn Ewers actually threw the ball too far, a little bit out of bounds, and, made it a tough catch for A.D. Mitchell. Well, Michael Penix isn't doing that. The ball placement and never looking at the rush, always keeping his eyes downfield, but throwing lasers, throwing darts. So I think the young man's going to have a bright future.